Hey everybody, welcome to Cheap Comic Collector. Today it's part 2 of going through my personal collection.
Tuesday born of ink and thrill, pages turn, the rush is real. Heroes, villains clash and break, ink on paper, dreams awake. Cheap collector got the stash, dollar bins, the hidden cash. Gold and silver, bronze they gleam, panel portals, endless dreams. Comic Book Tuesday flying high, cheaper thrills you can't deny. Collectors' hearts, oh how they soar. Comic Tuesday, we want more.
Thanks for joining me today, guys and gals. So today's part 2 of an probably never-ending series of going through my personal collection. Check out yesterday's video to figure out what's going on if you don't know what's going on. I'm not going to repeat all of that. Yeah, we're just going to hop over to the other camera and get started going through these books because I want to get through more of them today and see what we can accomplish. Okay, so here we are. We're going to go through these books today and mark them down on my list and put the date stamps on them so I know where they're from so I can file these properly. Like I said, we're not quite into the yearly books yet. Watch yesterday's show to figure that out if you haven't seen it yet. Why we're going through these books instead of starting at the earliest books, which we'll hopefully get to the next time. I thought I was going to get to them today, but we didn't get through nearly as much of the piles I thought we would yesterday. So we are continuing on today, selling forth, carrying through, and I have to pull up Grand Comics database for this and my list. So just give me a second here. There we go. So first off, we have Gerald McBoing Boing. Forget what number this was. Number 2, 1953. And I need 4 more issues to complete my set because there was only 5 issues. Let's see. The full name is Gerald McBoing Boing. And the nearsighted Mr. Magoo. And of course, it's from Dell Publishing. Ran 1952 to 1953. And 5 issues, 1 through 5. This is number 2. Very cool. Quite beat up, but that's okay. I don't think if this hadn't come through, I wouldn't even have known that this existed. Okay, 1 down. Let's do Nellie the Nurse. And this is one of those that I did my self-made facsimile covers for. And Nellie the Nurse Comics is the full title. And there, lost my cursor. There it is. And of course, Nellie was published by Marvel Comics. And it ran from 1945 to 1952. And there were later series as well after that one. Had 36 issues the first time around. And this is number 31, so just a few copies before it finished. And this one is 1951. All right, two down. Challengers of the Unknown. And this will get quicker once we get into the already filed short boxes, because most of this work is already done on those. They already have the state sticker on a lot of them, and so on and so forth. So, and once the title is put into my list, then that's already done, and all I got to put in is the issue number. So eventually we won't have to look up as many books, and it should go faster and faster as things progress. And of course, Challengers of the Unknown was published by DC Comics. And it started in 1958. And then the first run ended in 1978. I'm pretty sure there was a gap in there. But it had 87 issues altogether. There was a publishing gap between number 77 and 78, and then a shorter one between 78 or between 80 and 81. So they went up to number 77 and stopped in 1971, started again in 1973 with number 78, and then 80 was published in 1973, but 81 wasn't published until 1977. So, and but this went to 87. And then in some of those times it ran in Super Team Family and also in Adventure Comics. I think it was continued into Adventure Comics. Anywho, this is got a nice little chunk out of the top there. It's an early issue, number 11, 1959. Nice. Great cover on this one, too. All right. Then we got Dennis the Menace, number 33. Nice early issue. Center. And let's see, the original. Well, this is confusing because they have some paperbacks listed, it looks like. I think the original comic series was from Pines Publishing. They did issues 1 through 31. So I'm going to put that in my list, even though this isn't from that series, because I need to be able to figure it out without looking it up every time a book comes through. It's easier if I have the other volumes listed at the same time. And let's see, Dennis the Menace. Numbering continues with Fawcett, right? Halden Fawcett. I don't know if that's the same Fawcett that published like Captain Marvel and stuff during the Golden Age. I think it is, but I don't know for sure. They also, if you look on some old Archie comics, they have Fawcett on them too because they distributed them or something, which is another area of confusion. I wonder what it says as the publisher in there. It says Halden Publications in here. So we're going to list it as Halden. I'll put Dash Fawcett just to mess with myself. And they published 1959 to 1979. Long running series. Issue number 32 to 166. And plus they had all the other series like the bonus magazines and Dennis and Friends and all that stuff. So this is number 33 from 1959. This is only Halden's second issue. And I see some pencil up here, which I happen to know this eraser should take off if it's actually pencil. So we're going to get rid of those. Thank you, Josh, for that tip. Polymer eraser. It's also good for getting the wear marks off of like the white areas of the cover. You can't use it on the colored areas, I was told, because it will erase the color. But pencil, anything, if something's penciled on the like on the inside of the comic, it works great for getting that off as well. So, anywho, this was number 33. 1959, and I gotta cut up a few more of these guys. We got another one done. That one took a little bit longer. Yeah, we're gonna work on this pile for a while just to get it down even with the other one. Confessions of the Lovelord. This one actually is complete. I didn't have to make a facsimile cover for this one because even though it was in the coverless comics I got, it was coverless because it was wrapped. It was folded badly like this, and the guy thought it was just a piece of crap comic, with all the other ones, but it was actually all there. So that was cool finding that in that box. This is Confessions of the Lovelord. From American Comics Group. And they published this under 15 different publisher names. Oh no, this is. I'm sorry, it took me to the wrong listing here. I went to American Comics Group instead of the Confessions of the Lovelorn. I don't know. Pay attention to what you're doing, Rob. There we go. Confessions of the Lovelorn, American Comics Group. 1956 to 1960 they published it. And before that it was just called Lovelorn. But it changed the name to Confessions of the Lovelorn, and with number 76. So this runs 76 to 114, and this is 107. From 1959. Cool cover on there too. Nice painted cover. John R. Is that Romita? Probably not. Not familiar with him doing any paintings, but probably doesn't tell on the inside. Didn't really do credits back then. Oh, you know what? I got it. Look, I got it pulled up right here on Grand Comics database, so I can just look at that issue. John Rosenberger. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think so. John Rosenberger did that cover. And one of my favorite series, 4-color. This is number 387. And Mickey Mouse in High Tibet. Probably going to have to laminate this cover one of these days, although it's still holding pretty good on the bottom. 1952 this one's from. Cool. And here we got Chip and Dale. And it's the wrong bag. It's got a Bugs Bunny sticker on it. The way I do it, pretty much everything ends up in the wrong bag. So, and this one's not going to want to come off this bag, unfortunately. But you know what? I think I'm just going to go ahead and replace the bag. I did buy some new Golden Age bags I got in a couple days ago. Oh, need the board. Yeah, I don't think this is a Golden Age board. I think this is a Silver Age board. Yep. But I don't think I have. If I have any Golden Age boards, they're just sitting around loose somewhere. There's no pile of them, so stick with this board for now. Chip and Dale number 14 from 1958. This one is. Boom, boom. So we put Chip and Dale in, and all you get is Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers. Where are we at here? Oh, okay. Grand Comics Database has it listed as Walt Disney's Chip and Dale. We're just going to put in Chip and Dale. And this is the Dell series. We're at from 1955 to 1962. And started with issue number 4, so the first 3 issues were probably 4-color issues. And this, what number did I say this was? Number 14, 1958. And we even the piles back up, so we're going to start on this pile again. Leave It to Binky, number 19. And this is another one I printed the cover out for, so it's my personally made facsimile cover. $19.51 this one is. And of course it was DC. And started in 1948. And Grind Comics Database has taken a moment to load. But it's had 71 issues, it looks like. There it goes. Had to click on it a second time to get it to load up. 1948 to 1970. And had, yep, 71 issues, starting with number 1. This is 19. I looked at that year 3 times already, and I still forgot it. 1951. 1951. 1951. Elmer Fudd, but it's actually 4-color, number 1032. This one is 1959. Would love to have the whole 4-color series someday, but there's some pretty expensive issues in there. All right. We're gonna continue with this Bugs Bunny because this is also a 4-color, and we're already there. So this is an early one, number 347. Bugs Bunny, the frigid hair. This one is from 1951. And I'm going to continue with this one because this is another 4-color early one, 358. Indie Panda. So this is probably 1951 too. Cool cover. Nope. Well, it says November to January 1952. I believe that means 1951 because I think November, December was 1951. So I'm going to put 1951 on that one and hope for the best. We can go to this Bugs Bunny. Another one of my homemade facsimile covers. Bugs Bunny 56. No. 66, 1959. And although we've seen quite a few Bugs Bunny comics, I don't have that title listed in the list yet. And the first series was from Dell, of course. And it ran 1952 to 1962. And started with issue number 28 because all the previous issues were 4-color issues. Went to number 85 in 1962. This is number 66. And then the number continued with the Gold Key Whitman run. And as long as we're here and I can click on that page easily, we're going to stick that in the list. And they ran from 1962 to 1984 with the Whitman brand, finishing up the run, of course. And starting with number 86, going to issue number 245. And after those, I don't think there was another Bugs Bunny comic until DC started doing them. Tom and Jerry. Loose cover on Swan. Tom and Jerry 265. All right, Tom and Jerry are friends. MGM's Tom and Jerry. I think Tom and Jerry started with Gold Key. No, they had some Dell issues in the Dell Giants, looks like. I don't see an ongoing Dell. Oh, let me click on the Gold Key one. It'll say if the numbering continues from a Dell comic. Yeah, started with number 213. So there were. Oh, it was Tom and Jerry comics before that when Dell was doing it. Okay, they took the comics off when Gold Key did them. So they went 1962 to 1984. 213 to 344. They had more issues than Bugs Bunny did. Huh. And this was number 265. Yep. And the first three issue was actually called Tom and Jerry's Funhouse before it changed to Tom and Jerry. I think that means they were giants, because I know the Bugs Bunny, when Gold Key took over Bugs Bunny, they did the same thing. First few issues of Bugs Bunny, I think, were called like Bugs Bunny Showtime or something like that. And this is the Whitman variant. There is both a Gold Key and a Whitman version of this particular issue. It doesn't matter to me. I don't differentiate that into the listing. This is from 1972, it says. I don't think there was a 1972 copyright in it. That's why I looked up the year on the internet, because the copyrights are 1950 and 1958. 9 or 8. Oh, there is a later copyright for 1972 by MGM, so I didn't see that one. Gets a little confusing when they don't actually have the cover date on there. They just do like a copyright, because sometimes the copyrighted material is just for the old stuff and it doesn't actually tell you what the new stuff is. And this one's a 4-color Duck album. And this is number 531. $1953, I think, but I do want to look this one up. Because I want to see if it tells me if this is the first Duck album or not, since it's an earlier one. I don't know if it'll tell me that or not in the listing. Sometimes Grand Comics Database has those kind of details, and sometimes it does not. It's from 1954. And copyright is actually 1953 on it, so that's a little confusing to me because I don't know what to put down. Grand Comics Database has it listed as January 1954, but the only date on here is 1953 because it would have been published in 1953. So one of those dilemmas, but I already put down 1954, so we'll stick with that. And this is interesting because they don't have the same cover on the back, right? This is just a different scene from the same thing, where Grandma and Uncle Scrooge are the only ones that know how to skate, apparently. And then on the back cover, everybody's hanging onto them and holding pillows so they don't have to, in case they fall down again. Quite a bit of thought went into those two pictures. All right, got that one done. Let's do Spike and Tyke. I don't think this is a 4-color, but just in case. Nope, MGM Spike and Tyke, number 16. So that's another one of those where, I want to put it as a Spike and Tyke, but the actual title is MGM's Spike and Tyke. So it's like, yeah. And I think we're going to go with MGM this time around. I may screw that up in the future and have them sitting in different places. 1955 to 1961, this series ran. Started with number 4, so there are 4-color issues probably. Ended with number 24. And what number was this? Number 16. December to February 1959. So again, is that 58 or 59? I don't know. The Christmas Story. And it is Number 16, probably 1958. Let me look. Yeah, December 1958 to February 1959. So we're gonna, even though it says 1959 in the small print, we are gonna put it as 1958 because I'm trying to go by cover dates. Another one done. Yeah, looks like we got a few more of my facsimile covers that I made. Secret Hearts. And yay, we finally have a title where we already have that listed. So this is number 55 from 1959. A little bit faster since we didn't have to look it up. See if there's any more of those. Yep, there's one. So we'll do this one. Number 62. $1960. All right, see real quick if there's any more of those. Oh, there's one more. Two more. All right, number 76. And number 70. Number 76 is 1962. And 70 is 1961. Messed the cover up on that one. It's too short at the top and the bottom. But I didn't want to spend the money to reprint it again. It takes a lot of ink to do one of those. All right, Girls' Romances. And it's another DC title. They got their little romance logo up there at the top, National Romance Group. And the series ran 1950 to 1971. It started with number 1, went all the way up to 160 issues. This one is 76. (1961). And Modeling with Millie, number 21. Marvel Comics, of course. Millie the model. 1963 to 1967, this one ran. And started with issue number 21. It was continued from Life with Millie. Went to issue number 54. And this is number 21. This is actually the first issue with that particular title. And I gotta look at this a little bit. It says it's a 1963 series, February 1963. Why does it say 1962 in here? Alright, well, it's blurred, so it may be a 2. Looks like a 3 to me, but or it looks like a 2 to me, but maybe it's a 3. So I'll go with Grand Comics Database on that one. Outlaws of the West, a Charlton publication. Alright, well, that title was used a few times, it looks like. Charlton had it from 1957 to 1980. And it started with issue 11, went to number 88. And what number is this? Number 21, 1959. And before this title, it was called Cody of the Pony Express. Charlton used to rename their titles in crazy ways. Where at least this was a Western title. Is number 21. And I forgot the year. 1959, was it? Yep, 1959. All right. No, another Heartthrobs. Should have done that one before. Oh, no, that's the first one. I just been looking at it on the pile. All right. Heartthrobs. I think that one ran for quite a while. I think that was one of the longer running DC romance titles, if not the longest running one. It started at Quality Comics before DC got a hold of it. DC had it from 1957 to 1972. And started with issue 47, went to 146. So 100 issues. That one ran while DC was publishing it. And then it changed, actually, to Love Stories. Huh. All right. And this is, I think that's number 60. Yep. 1959. All right. Looks like we got another couple of 4-colors here. The Phantom Planet is issue 1234. And I think I'm actually going to look up the issue number on there so I can see the year instead of opening up the bag, just because I can't always tell the year, apparently, from the copyrights anyway. So, and it might even be a little quicker to look it up on the internet instead of opening the bag and taking it out and everything anyway. Although that's fun, it does create more wear and tear on the comic, and that one looks like it's pretty worn. So 4-color, 1234. And this one is November 1961, January 1962. And we got the Bugs Bunny, number 307. That's our earliest 4-color yet. That's the Lumberjack one. Yeah, Lumberjack Jackrabbit. 307. This one was December 1950. And this one's A4 color as well. Donald Duck, Luck of the North. Carl Barks, goodness. Great cover. So even in the bad shape that it's in. All those red dots, though, are on the bag. They're not on the... I wonder if this will take those off. Yeah. That presents better. Donald Duck, Luck of the North. Oh, this is an even earlier four color, 256. Bugs Bunny got dethroned real quick as the earliest issue. 56. Donald Duck in Luck of the North. And I hear my mom calling me, so I'm going to have to step away for it out the gap. And she's yelling, but she's going to have to wait a second while I get this one done. 1950, this one's from. Back. While I was gone, I grabbed Space Mouse out of the press that I showed yesterday. Still looks like, still all beat up, but the fix that spine crease very nicely. So press is well worth having. All right, let me see where I'm at here. Back to business. Now I'm out of sorts dealing with mom. Archie comics, I guess. Looks like. I think we finished the other one. All right, Archie comics. There's a whole lot of Archie comics. Let's see. First series started in 1942. And went until 1959, when I think it just became Archie after that. Didn't have the comics on there. But that was Archie comics for the first 101 issues. So this is just part of the Archie series, and this one is Archie comics. This is number 68. $1954. Love the art on there. And then this one is the regular Archie series. And that one went 1959 to 2015 before they decided to do a renumbering. The last holdouts. But I think it is the last holdout, actually. And they went from number 102 to 666. And that's number 117. $1961. And as long as we're on the elbow, Archie kick, we'll do Wilbur here. And Wilbur started in 1944, went to 1965, and had 90 issues. This is number 23. And I like it when they put the year on the cover. That makes doing this quite a bit easier. Oh, we already got a sticker up there, so we can just reuse that one. 1949. And it is number 23. And then we got some more Dells. And this cover printed out really dark when I printed this one out. Can't even read that this is waste paper basket and stuff. The issue number is actually up in here, but it's so the cover turned out so dark you can't even read it. Number 62. I think November, December 1958. And last book we're going to deal with today is Little Lulu. Marge's Little Lulu, in actuality. $133, 1959. And got to look that one up because I was thinking we already did that yesterday, but it was the annual that we did yesterday. So there it is, Dell Comics, Marge's Little Lulu. Started in 1948. Went to 1962. And they actually started with a number 1 and went to 164 issues before Gold Key took it over. And what number was this? 133, 1959. All right, so we got that through that pile. Wonder what our time is. We did all those today, and we are. Find something cool to put on top. Maybe not. I got to go through them and sort them by a date anyway. That way, as I'm going through the boxes starting in the next episode of this series, I'll be able to just put them into place as I'm going through, if I remember to do it that way properly. And we are at almost an hour and a half, so it took a little bit longer, but there is that space of time I'm going to take out. So when I took care of my mom. So we are out of here. See you later, alligator. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon.
The trumpet shout and the trombone glide. I found my crew on this crazy ride. Turns his wounds wail like a midnight train. Thank you, super friends, you keep me sane. Oh, thank you, super friends. You've got my back through the twists and bends, in a world that spins and never ends. Thank you, super friends. The drummer kicks with the thunder's beat. We march together, no retreat. The bass walks steady, the piano plays. You light my nights and brighten my days. Through storms and sun, through highs and lows, you're the rhythm that my heartbeat knows. We're a symphony, a jazzy